Today we're discussing Seth Rogen's latest film, An American Pickle. It's an hour and a half and is streaming right now on HBO MAX. You might have noticed Seth Rogen as the chubby, dark, twisted side character on the 1999 sitcom Freaks and Geeks. But probably not. It was only carried for one season, and he wasn't the main character. If you missed him there, maybe you caught him as the raunchy, funny co-worker to Steve Carell in The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
You know I know you're gay?
How?
I saw you make a spinach dip in a loaf of sourdough bread once.
But you definitely saw Rogen explode onto the scene in 2007 when he headlined Judd Apatow's blockbuster hit Knocked Up. And just like that, the game has never been the same.
Listening for hangovers, weed. Do you smoke weed?
Not really.
You don't?
No.
At all?
Mm-mm.
Like in the morning?
No, I just don't.
After that, Seth Rogen went on to become a Laugh Factory. And subsequently, a cash machine. Superbad, Pineapple Express, This Is the End. This guy has an aggregate box office of $1.8 billion. With a B. Often stoner bromance comedy.
Video games? Weed is tight. Weed is tight. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
It's obviously struck a chord with certain generations, becoming a force that can stand up and rival Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler. Not to say Rogen hasn't had his misses. Green Lantern, Funny People, The Guilt Trip. So when I saw American Pickle going straight to HBO Max, and Rogen double starring a la Jack and Jill, I was nervous. We're going to give you our scores for the movie, share the budget, go over the Rotten Tomatoes, some trivia, all that fun stuff. Al, why don't you go first?
Yeah, dude. I thought American Pickle was pretty fun.
Really?
Yeah, I hope you're the same, but like I actually had a lot of fun with this movie. I thought it was just like so lighthearted and easy to watch. Seth Rogen totally didn't take himself very seriously, which was so important. Because if he took himself seriously and actually tried to like play these roles deeply, I think it would have backfired him in the stupidest movie. But
Definitely.
he didn't. He was just like joking around the whole time, just kind of having fun with it. But he still told a good story. So like foundationally, the movie was still sound from start to finish. I just thought it was like so comfortable and cozy that it was the perfect movie to get released on streaming, because watching it from the couch was just felt so great and like warm.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Actually, my only weakness with the movie, unfortunately, was that it was anticlimactic. Like I felt like when it really came to a head and the characters finally transformed at the end, when they were kind of realizing, like Herschel's realizing that the new Seth Rogen cares about family, and they come to agree that they can start a pickle company together. Like it just they just kind of like breezed over it and ended the movie. So it just kind of felt like none of the emotions that were being built up actually paid off. But at the same time, if the climax hit harder, would I have not liked the movie, because then they'd be taking themselves too seriously. I think it was just kind of pigeonholed into being like an okay movie as it is because of how silly and stupid the plot was. But for how stupid the plot was, it was really well handled. So I'm going to give it a real good 7.9.
Wow. I gotta say, I am surprised. I was fully prepared for you to dislike this movie, and it's gonna turn out that I liked it less than you, and I was prepared to defend it. So that's interesting. I had a lot of problems with it. I thought this movie was all plot. Like there's so much packed into it that I thought, just slow down. It was such a cool story and cool concept that you wanted to see some stuff. Like you wanted to see him hear about America, and kind of they just sped through all that stuff. My favorite part was when in the beginning of the movie when they were explaining the science behind how he got brined and how it worked out, and he was like, the science satisfied everybody, and everyone was like, yeah, like. That was hilarious. Like, way to be self-aware.
Yeah. I thought it was really funny. Like, no scientists gave a shit. They were all just kind of like, oh, he swallowed a pickle jar. And then they were cool with it.
Yeah.
Like, let's get that shit out of the way. We're not going to deal with this plot hole.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought that was a great way to handle it. Especially for a comedy movie, you don't have to follow the rules.
Exactly. But I just thought modern, mopey Seth Rogen bickering with 1919... old Seth Rogen just wasn't enough for me. It lacked what I thought Seth Rogen does so well, which is not necessarily plot devices, but kind of taking time to let a scene breathe. And listen, I'm not saying he needs to smoke a joint with 1919 Seth Rogen, but
No weed was smoked.
I don't think it would have hurt.
No weed was smoked.
Thing for hangovers, weed. Do you smoke weed?
Not really.
You don't?
No.
At all? Like in the morning?
I know, I couldn't believe
I can't
it.
believe that. I have a theory that this movie had both Seth Rogen's largest beard and smallest beard ever in the same screen.
It's very interesting, and I
Pretty
heard
impressive.
that Seth Rogen shot all his scenes with the beard first, and then he shaved his beard, and then shot all the scenes without the beard.
That would make sense.
Right, but I heard that they came up with a joke that would be so funny that he regrew the beard in 9 months and then reshot one joke just to get it out there, which I thought was interesting.
That is funny. I think Seth Rogen did a pretty good job playing two characters. I mean, it was a comedy. It was stupid.
Yeah.
The whole point was dumb. So, like, I didn't expect great characters. But
Yeah,
I found both characters to play their part. The Herschel was funny. I thought he was actually a hilarious character. I laughed at him
Yeah.
quite a bit.
I liked
And
him
the
better
new
than modern
Seth Rogen,
Seth.
yeah, I wanted to punch him in the face, but I think that was what he was supposed to be. Like, I
Right.
didn't like that guy, and I thought he was annoying and ratty. And
Yeah,
That's
for
what they were going
me, for me, it missed on the emotional family mourning your parents'
Yeah.
death. Like, all Seth Rogen movies kind of have like an emotional backdrop that like they come around to at the end, and then that's how it climaxes. Which I'm okay, you know, follow your formula, and that's not even like a dig. Like I think that's legit. But for this, like it didn't hit me like the mourning your family when they're dead, and then the reconnectedness of finding your Jewishness. Like, it was just a swing and a miss for me. It was like, this is a pickle movie. Fucking get all that shit out of here. Just, I like the laughs. I did laugh out loud many times during the film. That's why, for me, it's a 6.7, which I thought was actually being kind.
I'm gonna disagree with you on one point, but I agree with you on the whole family story. I thought that was really hit soft. The whole point, if the point that they were going for was like that you should care and love your family and try to support the legacy that they leave behind,
Yeah.
they kind of shoehorned that at the end and didn't really build it up. And the whole boop bop reveal, oh, boop and bop, or what do you call his parents? I was like, dude, who the fuck
outta
cares
here.
about this? Like,
Yeah.
I already understood the parents' plot line. I already understood the boop
Didn't
bop
even
plot.
need
I didn't
it.
need them to get. It was a useless 20-second scene, but
Yeah.
I loved the scene when he was pointed to the church, because the movie obviously was commenting on a lot of social issues that we're going through today, and it was really interesting that the young, or not the young, I guess he's just the new Seth Rogen, he like was anti-religion. He was totally uncomfortable by it. He didn't understand the point of it. But then when everything was taken from him and he was brought back to that area, and he said, who can help a person like me with nothing? And they said, the church. The church is what helps people who have nothing. And he goes, oh, now I get it. And then at the end he prays with Herschel because he understands the point.
Yeah, no,
I thought that was the one of the
get
plots
it.
that worked.
I just didn't care.
I can't help you there. I mean,
I
it
don't
was
know.
definitely a softly executed movie. It was just really, really mellow the whole time. I thought that it moved fast.
It did move fast. It was an hour and a half, and if it wasn't for that, and if it wasn't for the few moments, I won't say the few moments, the moments that I laughed out loud, this movie would have lost me completely. I don't regret seeing it, but I'm not going to recommend it, and
Yep.
I'm not going to see it again.
I liked the part when the two guys were blogging about Herschel's pickle stand, and the one guy's like, he has the cutest little accent, and puts it up, and he's like, what? And it's like weird, what was that country he's from? Spelt or something? And his
Yeah,
weird
well.
accent. He goes, he's so cute. That guy's character is pretty funny.
Yeah, I agree. But even though it was only an hour and a half, I did check my phone during the movie, and I was like, is this done yet? You know, it had slow part. Like, I was like, let's go. I get it. Let's wrap this up.
I don't know, man. I felt it was like the fastest movie I've watched recently. It kind of just beat for beat. It was basically a montage in itself.
The whole movie was a fucking montage.
They ripped right through it, man. I felt like it wasn't slow at all.
It had so much that it didn't have any like buddy scenes with Seth Rogen while he's just like smoking a joint. Like, I know I keep going back to that, but it's not really about weed. It's just like buddy comedies. Like, that's what he does. Like, shooting, like, egging on your friends, like that type of shit. Like, those are full of Seth Rogen movies, and it was just blatantly absent from this one.
Yeah, I mean, he goes for a different style. You tear the guy apart. I don't know if you're like a Seth Rogen hater or like an anti-Seth Rogen guy. What about the scene at the end when Herschel has shaved to disguise himself as the new version, and he shows up in that church, and all he's wearing is a hat and glasses, and he goes, "Look."
yeah. I laughed out loud during that.
I thought that was pretty funny. Looking at each other.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. But Al, I think the rest of the world is more in my camp than yours on this one. For Rotten Tomatoes, the critics were a 75, which I thought was nice.
I'm with the critics again.
You are with the critics. The audience was far less forgiving. They gave it a 45.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched this with my fiance, who's not like a movie obsessor or anything like this, and she found it enjoyable. So I think it's not impossible to like this movie. It's not like the critics are just, beefing it up for nothing.
As far as the budget goes, Seth Rogen said this budget was over $20 million. The gross is obviously undisclosed because it was sold to HBO MAX.
$20 million?
Yeah.
That was more than Jojo Rabbit. And Jojo Rabbit had like full-blown World War II scenes. Like, was the pickle jar scene really that expensive?
Yeah, I don't understand where the budget came from for this movie, but it is like in the wheelhouse of Seth Rogen. Like, usually his movies are between 15 to 20 million, and they usually gross over 100. Like I said, Seth Rogen's a cash machine. I would have been interested in a normal world to see what this would have done in theaters if it would have gone to theaters. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the plan the whole time, save COVID. Just because of the style of the movie. It's not very well suited for theaters. But
I think that would have sucked in theaters for sure.
Yeah, I would guess probably 50 million if it hit theaters, because it's not a great movie.
You want to talk about not great Seth Rogen movies? Let's find out what happens next, and then we'll really know. You're
talking about the draft?
Seth Rogen
the draft?
Oh, I'm talking about the draft.
All right, it's time for our Seth Rogen draft. I love Seth Rogen movies, except the last one, American Pickle, wasn't that good.
And I love American Pickle.
Al loves pickles, so this is the perfect opportunity for us to draft Seth Rogen movies, TV shows, appearances, blogs, commercials, everything.
Wow.
Yeah. Although I just have movies pretty much. But anyways.
Seth Rogen books.
Shit. All right. Al. Since you like the movie more, and at this current moment you're a bigger Seth Rogen fan than me in the episode, why don't you start us off with your number one pick for Seth Rogen?
All right, my number one pick. It's a no-brainer. It's obviously the greatest movie that Seth Rogen's ever made because it's one of the greatest comedies that ever got made. Superbad.
I never see you at parties or anything.
Saturday was actually a crazy night for me. Seth's parents were throwing this party, like a get-together, cocktail casual.
Wow.
And then we went to a nightclub.
You got in.
We got right in.
Okay.
What are you, crazy? Of course I gotta take Superbad number one. Number one Seth Rogen thing he's ever done.
Yeah, pretty quintessential Seth Rogen. He wrote it.
He semi-starred in it.
He semi-starred in it. He actually wrote the lead role for himself.
Right,
But then,
Seth and Evan.
Seth and Evan, but he outgrew the role. All right, my number one pick is going to be his first big movie, his first headliner. It showed that he could carry it, and it introduced me to the man known as Seth Rogen. Knocked Up. Great film.
I think I'd rate Knocked Up lower than you. I like Knocked Up. Don't get me wrong. But it is not as highly acclaimed for me as my next pick, which I can't believe you didn't take this one first, dude. The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Okay. I mean, he doesn't have the hugest role in 40-Year-Old Virgin. It's more like a side character.
He doesn't, but he definitely moves the movie into Seth Rogen movie territory. It feels like a Seth Rogen movie, and I think he has that just one step raunchier style that everybody moved to in the 2010s kind of because of him. And the 40-year-old version was one of those catalyst movies. So
definitely.
Definitely a game changer.
I like the pick. I thought you were going to go with this, which I will take. Pineapple Express.
Oh, okay. I'm not only going with big movies, dude. For my number 3, I'm going to go with Hilarity for Charity, Seth Rogen's Netflix comedy special. I forget what the charity was, but it was actually is directly affected by a family member of his or something. He raised a ton of money.
Yeah.
He just brought out like a bunch of A-listers and had them all do 5-minute bits, and it was such a fun catalog of comedians to watch. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. You probably find a few new comedians on there. So Hilarity for Charity is definitely my pick.
Awesome. For my next one, I am going to go to The League and go with Dirty Randy.
Margaret, I quit this bullshit job.
You can't quit. You were fired 4 months ago.
I quit now! You go get me my severance package!
You don't have a severance package.
You don't have a severance package!
I have a very good severance package.
Then get me your severance package! What's a severance package?
Dirty Randy? Okay, is this my last pick?
I don't know.
Oh my god. Well, I hope we have time for
so.
honorable mentions. This is my last pick. I'm going to go with Sausage Party.
What?
For Seth Rogen showing me that he can take a project that I thought was destined to fail, destined to suck, just destined to be the stupidest, dumbest bust of a movie I've ever seen, and turn it into a jam. That's a hilarious movie. I've seen it twice, and I would watch it a third time. It cracks me up every single time, and it actually has a legitimate plot to stand on. So it proved Seth Rogen's got movie chops.
Okay. Not the pick I would have gone with, but for my last pick, I will go with the time that James Franco and Seth Rogen mocked Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, I think, on the motorcycle. Roll the clip.
Bam! One good girl is worth 1,000 bitches. Bam!
I thought you were going to say the time that Nick Kroll and Seth Rogen made out on Nick Kroll's Kroll show.
I have not seen that.
It's one of the funniest Nick Kroll bits I've ever seen.
Don't touch me! Oh, stop fighting! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! James, stop it!
What? You guys, take a breath. Seth, we're falling in love. Yeah. And James, you're worried that you're gonna lose your best friend. Yeah. But you're not gonna lose your best friend. You're just gaining me.
I would have bet my car on you going with Donnie Darko.
Well, I mean, didn't your dad, like, stab your mom?
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't go with your favorite movie of all time, This Is the End.
Hey, does this Coke smell funny? Oh, fuck, Michael. Fuck, no, that's fucking expensive shit, motherfucker. Fuck, dude. I've never fucking done cocaine, dude. What is the fucking... Well, you did the best shit possible for your first time, because that's good stuff. Oh, fuck.
I would have. I love This Is the End. I think it's hilarious. It's just, the other picks that I went with were a little bit more like quintessential Seth Rogen. And like Knocked Up, it was his first one. Pineapple Express, I remember when the trailer came out for Pineapple Express, and I was so excited. Like, as a pot smoking high school teenager, I was like, this is gonna be the coolest movie ever. Like, and by some crazy circumstances, it lived up to my expectations, which was unbelievable because I thought it was going to be the best movie ever, and it was awesome. It's a great movie.
I think Seth Rogen is the king of actually living up to your expectations as much as you think a movie's going to bomb, because it wasn't new at the time for him to make a stoner movie. A total stoner movie had been around. Half Baked was an old movie by that time, but it was totally rare for a stoner movie to be good and totally
Right.
sound from start to finish. And Seth Rogen was pumping them out 3 a year. So
Yeah.
it's like you couldn't stop the guy.
And his like action sequences in those movies are like impressive. You're like,
Yeah.
holy shit! Like, is this Mission Impossible or is this fucking Knocked Up meets Superbad with more
he
weed?
takes the aspects that need to be taken seriously, and then he dicks around with the rest of it.
Well, Seth Rogen, we thank you for making some great movies for us, some great moments. All right, we're going to end the show as we always do by giving you guys some recommendations to watch over the weekend. Some stuff that we have seen before that we know is good, so we can recommend it with full confidence. And stuff that we haven't seen before and we're watching for the first time. And if you want to watch it with us, that'd be cool. Something that I have seen before is going to be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Ooh, yes.
It's a very good one, cult favorite. Stars Jim Carrey and is streaming right now on Netflix. Definitely
2 thumbs
high 8s, low 9s for me, I think, but I haven't seen it in a long time. Something that I have not seen before that I'm going to watch for the first time and I'm interested is going to be Palm Springs, starring Andy Samberg, which is streaming right now on Amazon Prime. It's on Amazon Prime. I love Andy Samberg. He was in one of my favorite comedies of all time, Hot Rod. Also super underrated if you haven't seen Hot Rod.
Yes.
Fucking go watch that. But I'm excited to see what he does in this one. It looks a little bit more rom-com-ish, but yeah, let's see what he's got.
Andy Samberg also has a propensity to take terrible, stupid, failure-sounding ideas and turn them into decent flicks.
Yeah, man, his propensity is good with that.
Yeah,
he's got
propensity.
He's got good propensity.
I'm gonna do something a little bit different this week, dude. I have to unrecommend. I have to undo a terrible sin. You said that our recommendations are gonna be foolproof and soundproof and everything proof, but everything fell apart for me. Everything fell apart for me last night. I just finished season 1 of Mr. Robot on Amazon Prime, and I recommended it last week because I was on episode 8 and I was like, this is a fucking thrill ride. This show is great. It was fun as hell. I don't know what even just fucking happened. The ending wasn't even an ending. It felt like a mid-season episode. They didn't answer any of the questions they had set up. They basically just teased you to go buy season 2.
So
fuck that show. Don't watch Mr. Robot. This week I'm gonna unrecommend it.
Nice.
And for my cue...
Wait. Can I unrecommend Space Force real quick? Like,
you recommended
now that's
that
on the
8 weeks in a
table?
row. No, you recommended that too many times. You're stuck with Space Force. It's canon. For my Q movie, Netflix's new movie Project Power. I'm excited to watch this movie. Honestly, from the trailers, it doesn't look like it's going to be that great, but everybody's talking about it. It's got Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Jamie Foxx, Machine Gun Kelly's on fire. Who knows what they're going to pull out? It could be a good time. It could suck. We'll talk about it next episode. Please check out Project Power on Netflix and come join us again. Listen to all our thoughts.
My God!